my family, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot for like birthday chat. You know what I mean?
What's up, everybody?
I try really hard to
I
watch.
talked to your dad the other day, and he's like, please keep the laugh in the beginning. I was like, it's so easy. It's so easy to do that.
I got that joy
She does.
down in my heart. Down in my heart.
I told him, I was like, listen here, Tim, your daughter laughs at everying, so it's not hard.
I really
all.
do. I am about to be obnoxious because I need to eat grapes. So sorry, guys. Do you want to
ASMR?
I am starving. I went to my parents' house. Hi, Mom and Dad. And I stole your carrots out of your fridge and ate those. But I still need to eat something else. So
it's all
I have
good.
grapes. Grapes. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, man. What's up? Holy cow. The sun's out. That's what's going on right now. It is not cloudy.
The sun, when it is out, like I feel like I could just...
It is super nice out.
Conquer the whole world if I needed to.
Hey, before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to somebody I met. I'm not going to drop any names because I try not to drop any names, but I met somebody on a Sunday at our church.
Yeah.
And, introduced myself and whatnot. They've been coming for a few weeks. Guess what? They're like, we listen to Grease and Grace.
What? I want to know who it is. Hello, new person.
The best part was they're like, not only do we listen, but our kids listen in too. And I was like,
are they new to the church?
Okay. Yeah, a couple weeks. They've been here for a while. So if you're listening, you know who you are.
Hi.
What's up?
I have no idea who you are. So I was stuck. So we, Josh and I
Kim's so dumbfounded right now. She's like, wait, hold on a second. People can't get over it. Like, I knew that would make your day. I'd be like, man, I'm going to make Kim's day. Yeah,
so Josh and I, we sit in the front, and I have a friend who's like, you always like to say that. And I'm like, but really, like, we sit in the front for my ADHD.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise, I will not pay attention to any of the sermon at all. Like, it's hard enough as it is.
If I'm not front and center, I'm looking at people's heads, I'm watching them and all their stuff.
So last week, I had this, like, not reckoning, but like that's the only word that I have that's coming to mind.
Yeah.
Every single week that you preach, which is every
week, pretty much. Yeah.
I normally have one or two songs that start playing in my head directly correlating to your sermon, which is the song that I sent you.
Oh, that's fun.
On Sunday.
Oh,
and yeah. And so like I'm already battling, like not like I was like bobbing to the song in my head. There's no music playing, you're just talking. And so I don't notice when there are new people until they've been here for like years.
I do it a lot too.
They like show up for baptism.
Yeah.
And they're like, we've been coming for 2 years. And I'm like, you have?
All right, well, let me tell you what. I sit in the front, so
come
I
say
don't know.
hi to me. I am right up front. Don't 100%. Be shy. I'll come. I'll give you a hug.
Get Kim's autograph. It would make her day. I mean, if you showed up with like a printed out Grease and Grace, like on your printer, at home printer, it's still wet. Like, can you sign this for me?
That's so sweet.
Yes, she'll do it.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you see me, I think I might be the only darker skinned one in our congregation. Come on, say hi. Say hello.
Anyway, I knew that would make your day. I was like, so, but I also wanted to say thanks for listening. I mean, It is cool to, I don't want to say meet people in the wild, but I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's really neat when somebody walks up to you and they're like, hey, we listened to your show. And I'm like, that's cool. Oh, you do? Like,
that's cool.
That's neat. Like, the whole thing.
Look at that. It's not just our moms and like best friends.
I'm like, how many minutes do you listen at a time? I'm like, the whole thing. I'm like, no way. There's no way.
That's hilarious. I have people who tell me they listen every single week. And I'm like, look at that. We're doing something. Jordan and I just heard that on here. Jordan and I are both eating. He's like,
we're sucking on some honey drops. So,
if you hear it rolling around in there.
Yeah. This was a gift from a person in our church too as well.
Manuka.
I was sick one day and they're like, here, try these. And I'm like, I texted them like, what are these magical drops that you gave me? And I'm not saying the name because if I did, you'd be sponsoring the podcast.
Do they listen to our podcast? Because they would know.
Yeah. They do.
It's the gifts It's the little gifts.
It is
They
the
were
little
like,
gifts.
You were sick.
It was super nice.
Ew.
Actually, I walked into my office and it was wrapped and it said, "Merry Christmas. You need to open this like right now." I was like, 100%. So
hey, we love a good gift that we can use instantly.
Good. Yeah. So anyway, those are like the little things.
Anyways.
Okay.
Hi, Jordan. We really came in hot today.
We did. Like a fire truck coming out of the station.
Yes.
Man, if you're here, you're listening to Grease and Grace. Like we already said, my name's Jordan. Sitting across the table from me is
Kim.
And we're glad that you're here. Each week we take on a new topic, look at the grease and the grace. And when we say that, basically what we're saying is like, there's things about this life that just frustrate us to no end.
Yeah.
But we're trying to find some graceful things in that too as well. So, yeah, we've talked about current events. We've talked about pop culture. We've talked about Logan Paul and Mike Tyson.
Sure did.
We've been, up, down, all around. But yeah, these are things that we feel need discussed. And full transparency, this is like total therapy session for us.
Really
so
is.
let's just be honest. But
it just gives us a reason to converse.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is the whole kind of reason we started this. Was like, hey, we need to talk. Like, let's just record it,
We're
and then everybody
friends.
knows what's going on. So today, Kim, topic is
We are still in Christmas, and we are doing Santa culture.
oh my word.
I read that one, and I was like, oh. So there's a lot of times that like I don't know what we're talking about. I've made the schedule so long ago. I have no clue what we're talking about.
But you make the schedule. People probably don't know that. Like they're probably
I
like,
do.
wait, you guys just like kind of pick on the draw. But
No.
Kim goes, she looks at the schedule. She is like, okay, like this is kind of where we're at calendar year wise, and then just kind of walks through it. I do all like the tech side of things, and you know what? It works.
And we are both the personality.
It works.
Bringing
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
So we're doing Santa culture.
Okay.
this week.
Santa Claus, are you ready?
Are you ready?
I give you a breakdown every single week. So here we go. What you need to know about Santa Claus. I don't know what that was.
Like, what's happening?
Santa Claus has multiple names. Did you know that? Name them. I'll give you. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go for it.
Okay, Saint Nick.
Yep, that's one.
What? There's Kris Kringle.
Yep. 2.
I don't know.
The easy one's on the table. He's called
Santa Claus.
Yeah. Santa. It's 3.
Does that mean Santa is off like just Santa?
And you said Saint Nick, but Saint Nick is short for
Saint Nicholas.
That's 4.
That one doesn't count. So the boys were watching a Christmas movie last night, and so the only other word that I can think of is Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Which is that's German.
Is that
Ish.
The Christmas Chronicles?
It is.
I love that
It
movie.
is. I've never watched it in its entirety.
It's so good. The second one's even better.
Is it?
Oh my word.
I'm
down.
I haven't watched it and paid attention. I've watched it and
It's so good.
my eyes are looking at the TV. But
You're just like dazing off. All right, I'll give you the 5th one. Father Christmas.
I don't like that one.
Well, it is what it is. Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick, Father Christmas, Kris Kringle, and Santa are a legendary figure originating in Western Christian culture. Now, you might not have known this, but he is said to have bring gifts during the late evening and overnight hours on Christmas Eve. He is said to accomplish this with the aid of his Christmas elves, who make the toys in his workshop with the aid of flying reindeer who pull his sleigh through the air. The popular conception of Santa Claus originates from folklore traditions surrounding 4th century Christian bishop Saint Nicholas, the patron saint of children. Saint Nicholas became renowned for his reported generosity and secret gift giving. The image of Santa Claus shares similarities with English figure Father Christmas, and they both now are popularly regarded as the same person. Santa is generally depicted as a portly,
A porta potty?
Get it, Santa. Jolly, white-bearded man, often with spectacles, wearing a red coat with white fur collars and cuffs, white fur cuffed red trousers, a red hat trimmed with white fur, black leather belt, boots, all that other stuff. And then he has that bag full of gifts for good little boys and girls.
That's one heavy bag.
Also, Santa is known to have a deep, hearty laugh, and he is... There it is.
I'm just here to add sound effects.
Yeah, so that's Santa. There you go.
Should we not Hey, new person that is at our church, maybe don't listen to this one with your kids, just in case.
You can. It's all good.
No, I don't know. I don't know. We're greasing and gracing it.
So let's just be full transparency.
Grace.
This is your chance to stop because we're going to let the cat out of the bag in 2 seconds. So if you practice Santa Claus at your house, pause right now. Go to the next episode.
Yep. Or go to another one that you haven't listened to yet.
Okay. We gave you ample time to pause, and you didn't pause.
I'm still a little nervous.
Here it is. There is no Santa Claus.
You came out with it. What? My goodness. Oh, no.
I gave you time.
Oh, no.
Some little kid's like, why didn't you pause? Why didn't you pause the thing?
They were like, this is our year. This is our year to let you know.
I said one time in a sermon that there was no Easter bunny. It was like around Easter. And I kid you not, like from the back, it was like somebody went, wait, what?
Oh, well, hey, there you go. You done it.
I'm just telling you. He ain't real.
Oh, man. Were you guys Santa Claus people?
Okay, so this is where we either like become friends or you don't like me anymore, because every year I always ask students this time of year, would you celebrate Christmas in regards to saying that Santa's real with your kids or not? Mm-hmm. Resounding all the time, 90+%. No, that's lying to your kids.
Wait. What?
So I always ask the students,
practice?
Hey, will you do Santa with your kids? Like, so when you get to the point where you have kids, will you tell them that Santa exists? 90% plus. Mm-hmm. No, that's lying to your kids. And every time I think, oops.
So you did.
Oh, yeah, duh.
So we didn't.
You did it? Oh, man. I'm the worst. I am the worst.
Well, okay, so
I've grown up a lot.
Mine is rooted in poor life.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because,
you're not like
my mom was always like, no, I spent my hard-earned money on these gifts.
You got this from Mom.
You're gonna
There's
know
no Santa.
This is from me. But then, like, my grandparents, they were both pastors, and so
that's so funny.
Also were like,
we want the credit.
Not that we want the credit, but like all of the credit goes to the true meaning of Christmas.
Sure.
So like
God is good. He gave us this money, and we're being good stewards.
Yes,
yeah.
And so like, but we also didn't do the Easter bunny. Like we have never.
What about Tooth Fairy?
We've done the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah,
we've done the Tooth Fairy, but that
one out of 3 ain't bad.
I mean, that's a failing score.
How do you feel about the leprechaun at St. Patty's Day?
We're gonna go through all of the fictitious.
Tell me if you think this guy's real or not.
So
4 out of 12.
So we never grew up with Santa Claus, and like even our decorations. Like my mom likes snowmen, so I grew up only seeing snowmen, and so now that I have my own house, I decorate for winter instead of really for Christmas. Because I am like, actually not even the only reason is because I am lazy and I don't want to change out all of my decorations.
Sure.
After 1 month. So
I get it. Like, it was really funny. The girls looked at us like once and they're like, we know Santa's not real, like, but let me see if I can totally redeem myself. So it comes like kind of passed down from generation to generation to generation. So it's not really that like we believe in Santa, because don't hear that. But Santa gifts were always given by Bethany's folks, and then I think her folks did that too. So she kind of just carried that tradition down. And then one year the girls just kind of looked at it and they were like, "There's no Santa, right?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, don't tell your sister." Like actually, I think the dialogue was like, "Hey, if we say there's no Santa, does Santa gifts cease?" Because we'll believe in Santa as long as there's gifts, but if there's no gifts, like,
is that the only way
we're getting gifts? It's so funny.
Yeah, so we did like, I remember we would do cookies and put those out, but like we never got gifts from Santa Claus.
Yeah.
If we got anything, it was like we got a thing of coal because
you're
it
giving
was funny.
Santa stuff and he's giving you nothing. What a poor little excuse.
I remember putting cookies out a couple of times and milk but like,
Yeah.
that was it. We never.
I told somebody a while ago because they were talking to me about Santa, and I said I never lied to the girls. Like we never once lied to them and said like, I can't remember a time where we were like Santa's real. We never just said that. It was just like these gifts are from Santa, and it was kind of like just their way of saying like, oh neat, you know, or whatever. And then it got to the point where they're like, Santa's not real, and we're like, yeah,
well.
you know. So I think there's a train of thought out there that is like, if you do Santa, you're lying to your kids. And if you lie to your kids, you're lying to your kids for sure. Like, own that. But we never, as far as I can remember, lied to the girls.
I mean, your kids could still lie to themselves every single year. Owen, my youngest, we tell him every single year that Santa's not real. And he's like, yes, he is. And I'm like, no, he's not. It's not.
Owen believes some stuff
like
about life,
magic.
though, that's crazy.
Well, but like he like refuses. He refuses to believe.
Like to him, it's like a thing.
Yeah, but we're like constantly like, I'm very much like, but he's not
I love
real
it. He's in the
human.
back.
And he's like, okay, girl, okay, all right, mom.
He's like, Santa's real. You're like, shut it. he's like, Mom, seriously, Santa's real. You're like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Now I've heard other families who like they tell their like I have a friend right now, and they have told they have told their kids that there is no Santa, but they only say it once, and then like if you choose to believe in it, it's not that he's like a real person, like he's not filled with magic, you know, or anything like that. Like there's no human like that. But if you want to believe in like the quote air quotes magic of Christmas that Santa Claus brings, then cool. Fair. But he's not a real person. So I'm like, I wonder how that works.
Okay, so let's detour off of like Santa's real, Santa's not real, because that's not the whole point of what we're talking about today.
I really hope your kids aren't listening if you guys are Santa Claus people.
I already told you, man. Oh yeah, like it's like somebody else is like, dear Grease and Grace, long time listener.
You ruined it for me.
Yeah. I
Last time listener.
Next time you ruin my kids' hopes and dreams in a car on the way to Meyer,
give me more pause.
You need to wait at least 30 seconds before you drop your little truth bomb. I couldn't even get to the pause button.
Anyways, okay, we're detouring. What are we doing?
All right, Grease with Santa culture. Go.
My Grease with Santa culture.
Because you got it. I can see it in the back of your brain. Like you're sitting there going like, I got some things to say.
Well, like my Grease with Santa culture is that it is like all immersive. And it
What do you mean by all immersive?
Like everything leads up to Santa Claus. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there's different things. Like there's now the elf on the shelf, which is like a whole other thing that your kids, if they're misbehaving, there's this like Buddy the elf sitting on your shelf who has direct contact with Santa Claus in the North Pole. And if your kids are misbehaving, you tell the elf goes and tells Santa, and then you like, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's so much. Everybody has turned it into like this like thing.
Yeah.
I blame Pinterest.
You could probably blame Pinterest for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Pinterest and like Instagram, social media has made it into a thing. But like you can
social media, you're the worst.
You can call this phone number and like Santa Claus will answer the phone. You can track his
I do that
thingy, like his sleigh. Do you?
I track the sleigh every year. I just think it's cool.
Here's the thing though, like the rate that he moves, I'm like, this is not. I'm too realistic, I think,
Kim,
for Christmas.
I know I already said it, but he's not real. Like, I think we need to tell you now. Like, everybody else has heard, but there is no Santa Claus.
There's no Santa Claus, but like, there's all these things that I'm like, this would not happen.
You reminded me of like
Tanzania one day, and then all the way over in like I don't know Uruguay in 25 minutes.
That's like you having a conversation with Owen about how Spider-Man couldn't shoot like webs out of his hand. You're like, that's stupid. Like, how does that even happen? He can't do that. He's a human being. Like, you're talking about something that is made up. And you're like, and that little red suit, he didn't even squeeze into that red suit. Where'd you get that Lululemon?
What a noob.
How'd you get in there?
How do you get your beard so coiffed every single time that you go out? Santa. What's your prescription? Santa.
I love how like angry you are at like a completely fictitious person.
I get angry because it's something that like turns into a whole identity.
Let me tell you how I feel about you, Santa.
There's a whole umbrella.
Do you like one of the movies that is made like that's the opposite of like Holly Jolly Christmas? It's like,
what?
We'll kill Santa.
No, I've never seen one like that. What is it, man? I like the movies.
He's made up. I don't even know why I'm trying to defend this. Like, he's made up and he does it. Like, it's just who he is. Like, yeah, he's fast. He's like,
but he's not real.
He's not real. I know.
And so, like, people have turned it into a whole thing.
That's what people do, Kim. It's called the world. Like, have you ever seen?
But like,
you work as a chef. People are like, why can't you just have a hamburger? Why you got to put pineapple on it or an egg?
But like,
you're getting all weird putting bacon on it.
But like, a hamburger is a real thing. It's a tangible thing. Santa ain't real.
What about like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or like?
What about them? I've never partook.
That's a whole culture. Like, they just take this something and just like run with it. Oh, yeah. I'll give you a good one. So, you know, like, like I didn't realize this, but Wicked just came out, right? Mm-hmm. The movie.
That's like the battle cry. I don't know. I've never seen Wicked.
Okay, so anyway, like there's a whole like subculture of Wizard of Oz. Did you know this? It goes back to the 1900s.
Why?
It's crazy.
It was a book first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it like it's like a whole thing. It's like a world. It's like Star Wars. It's unbelievably nuts.
What?
Yeah. So that's what people do. They take like a little concept and then they're like, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pour like some gasoline on it and then it's going to go all over the place. But
the difference is like nobody's lying about Harry Potter saying that Harry Potter world is real.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
So your big beef is like you guys are making this out to be as if it is a real thing when we all know that it's not a real thing.
So like
I can get down with that. I see what you're saying.
What is the purpose of like trying to turn it into this like very realistic seeming thing?
Right.
We're not sitting on Harry Potter's lap.
That makes sense.
I almost called him the other name that Josh and I call Harry.
I don't know if you want to do that out loud.
We call him Hairless Pothead. There's no kids listening to this.
They all are in the back crying. Like, what do you mean?
We call Harry Potter Hairless Pothead all the time.
I called Harry Potter for the longest time Harriet. It just comes out that way. Like if you say it fast, like it's easier to say Harriet Potter than Harry Potter.
I don't think it is. That's an extra couple of
syllables. I do. Syllables. That's a weird name.
Harry.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. How did this turn into Harry Potter? Anyways,
I don't know.
Nobody is going around like, oh, look, there's Harry Potter. He just cast a spell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's doing that. Nobody's like...
They live in California. What up, California?
California is like a whole different... That's a different
Actually,
realm.
they're probably more in Portland.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never been to either.
I'll have a coffee with a spell on it.
But like nobody... Yeah, that's my beef. Is like...
I'll give you
nobody is turning any of these other things into... real things.
And you're trying, and like with that, you're trying to convince people that it's real too. Like you're looking at people being like, no, he's coming. Like, and you're like, huh?
No. Who? Is he breaking in? Do we need to update our security
That is kind of the
system?
weird thing, right? Like if you break down Santa, like not a good guy. Like if we break down who say, okay, let me get you straight. You're telling me a man in a red suit who's obese is going to land on my roof.
His diet is cookies and milk.
All night long.
He's got to be backed up.
So he's gonna land on my roof, and he's not even gonna knock. He's gonna come down my chimney, and then he's gonna leave me presents, but he's gonna eat my food. Mm-hmm. I don't know about this guy.
Yeah, like
it's kind of like you're good to outweigh your bads.
Like he sees you when you're sleeping.
There is some creepy godlike things about Santa.
Yeah, and that which is my other Grease. I'm not even gonna allow you to have any words today because I've got so much pent up aggression towards it. But like,
I can't Santa.
It is. There's a point where like you tell your kids, and there are a lot of similarities.
Oh, there's a lot of similarities between Santa and God. Yeah,
Santa and God.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me that you're telling your kids. That one of the things, if you are a believer, one of these things is not real.
Yeah.
But the other one is, because it says in the Bible, like, he knows. I mean, kind of the same thing. Like, he sees you when you're sleeping.
Little Santa creed packed in the Old Testament. Like, wait, what did he say?
So, like, you're still teaching the biblical principles of who God is, but you're like, but Santa's not real.
But
like, he had, you know what I mean? Like,
which is why 90% of my class looks at it and says, don't tell your kids about Santa. Like, just grow up with the fact, Now, we always told our kids, too, we were like, hey, if somebody believes in Santa at school, like, don't, like, be like, there's no Santa. You know what I mean? Be like, oh, interesting. How'd you get there? Like, you can ask them a million questions. But looking at it from, just a cordial standpoint, like, it is a fun thing. So be careful, like, raining on somebody else's, quote unquote parade.
I'm not saying to do that. Just like, there's so much about it that, like, why are we trying to make him real? If it's like the magic of Christmas, like, then create that yourself.
Stop making Santa real.
You don't need no beast man stealing your cookies to make that magic happen.
You come downstairs, he just looks at you. He's got that twinkle in his eye. You're like, I don't think you should be here. I'm pretty sure. Mom said no strangers in the house, but you, I think, are on the okay list.
Yeah, it's...
You and a giant bunny and this lady with a wand. And
wings. And a really tiny redhead. They're all real.
I also saw Tinkerbell here the other night. She's cool. She makes me fly. So we're all good.
Yeah.
We're on all the drugs in our house.
It's too much.
What else you got?
I don't know. You go.
Oh, I feel like you should.
I just shared 2 graces.
Santa culture? Man, like, I'll give you one. The bad Santas that are horrible at impersonating. It drives me nuts. I'll give you a great example. So, were you at the town lighting?
No.
Okay. So
I was not.
I was trying to explain this to one of my students who's from like a really big city. And he's like, hey, Prof. Muck, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? And I was like, oh, well, we do this thing called town lighting. And he's like, what's that? And I was like,
it's a town lighting.
How do I explain this? I was
it is a weird thing to somebody. It's
kind of weird. It's total small town thing. It's cool, whatever. But I told him, I said, well, everybody in the town that's not going to the basketball game that night will come downtown and we close off the streets and we literally stand around. Our church plays Christmas carols. They turn off all the lights.
Yep.
They had a coloring contest 2 weeks ago. The person who wins said coloring contest gets to flip a switch and all the Christmas lights come on. Everybody claps.
Oh, that's how they turn them on?
And then we go home.
It's the weirdest thing.
That's it.
I'm not going to lie. So Josh had asked me because you had asked him.
Yeah.
If we were going, and I was like, it's a weird thing because I've never done it.
Yeah.
Mostly because like I'm gone with his family. Or
did you guys go
working.
or no?
No.
Did he go?
No.
Oh, gotcha.
We were very lazy. We were very lazy that night.
But at least you're honest about it. Hey, why weren't you there?
My couch was calling, and that was a little bit louder than the town lighting. I'm not gonna lie, but I told him because most of the time I wasn't there when I had the coffee shop. My coffee shop was right downtown.
Yeah, you were there a couple times.
I was there a couple of times, but I never like witnessed it.
Yeah.
And so
you never participated.
Yeah, like 2-3 years ago or something like that, maybe 4 years ago at this point. I was there and I was like so excited. And then like I watched it all happen. And like everybody's downtown for like 45 minutes and then you're like, "Oh.
Yeah.
That's it?"
That's it.
Like, oh.
So when the lights flip on, the fire truck
There's
brings
cheering.
Santa. Yeah, there's cheering, and then Santa comes. So they play, "Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus," whatever the case is. And so Santa comes in. And I'm telling you what, like, I love our town, but fake Santa's tough, man. Like, because I go out to take Santa, to his chair, because that's kind of my role in the thing. And I kid you not. Like,
Are
people
you dressed
like,
up as an elf?
people like, why isn't he Santa? Because my beard, it's like ginormous. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if a guy with a beard is doing a better like impersonation of Santa than the guy in the red suit, we should probably talk about it. However, just this is the graceful thing. His wife was all dressed up, and she looked just like Mrs.
She
Claus.
did. I did see a picture, and I was like, oh.
She played the part really, really well. So I think it's hard. Now, we do a thing called Breakfast with Santa with the fire department in down the road, and that Santa is 100% legit. He has a real true Santa beard. He's a little bit bigger. He has a full I want to say his Santa suit. It's in the thousands. It's
what?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and he plays the part so well. So
there's
like greasy and graceful.
What are the qualifications for playing a good Santa?
That is a good question. Like,
is he jolly?
I think it's all in the suit and the appearance, right? Like, I'm not saying you have to have a beard, but if you're gonna rock like a fake beard, you need to at least make sure like it looks somewhat decent. And like, have you ever seen like a Santa suit where you're like, whew, where did you get that from? Like, is that Walmart?
They might have got it from Shein.
Yeah. If you sit on Santa's lap and you can feel his leg through the Santa suit, like there's that's a
weird moment.
That's a weird moment,
Yeah.
That's the other thing. We never took our kids to Santa that I remember. Oh, that's not true. We would go like downtown because Santa's shop is like open, and we would but we knew the people
Santa's
there.
Shop?
Yeah, so there's like this little like
this is such a culture that I don't know much about.
Yeah, there's a little small house in town, and you can go and you can tell Santa your Christmas list or whatever.
Does he just
he's just there? Yeah, he's just sitting there.
Is it heated?
Oh yeah.
I hope it's heated.
Yeah. And he gives out candy canes and stuff like that, so it's cool.
That's beautiful.
That's probably more on the graceful side than the greasy side.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like the undercurrent thing for me at least is like the bad presentation. But I'm so big on things being like,
do it well.
Yeah, if you're gonna do something, do it well. And Santa, your suit needs help.
Do you think that there are men who are like, what are the prerequisites for Santa?
To be a Santa,
you have to be large.
See, that's what's kind of weird because like. I could probably play Santa really well, but I'm not big.
You're not.
I'm not husky,
I felt Santa's bicep.
Why Santa's so big? I don't think that's a good Santa.
Yeah,
which is the new. I won't say the company, but there's a commercial out, and Santa drives like a Jeep, and he's kind of like slimmed down. I love it.
Oh,
it's so good. They're red.
Is it the very popular actor?
It might be, but the company's red and they have targets. Oops.
Who is it? I'm wondering.
Just dropped it.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. I don't know if I've ever seen that commercial.
That's like me saying like
I'm not gonna say it.
Like guess this company. They it's a market with walls.
Janet Witness.
Why did I do that? It's red with a target. What? You Jordan?
Yep, that's it.
That was stupid.
You're not very great at a catchphrase, are you?
Just tell me the word.
Yeah, I wonder what the prereqs.
Like, 4 legs. It's called a horse. A horse. Good grief.
We all have our skills. That's not one of them for you. It's okay.
All right, guys, guess the word.
Self-development.
Shuttle. Wait, what? Did you say shuttle? Like, did you say the word that we're supposed to get? Yes, I did. Let's guess it.
Say it. Say it before anybody else notices. Oh, that's hilarious. There's a fire truck. Look at that.
Oh, they come out to the church to practice driving.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, they do their tests out here.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Never ran a fire truck.
Welcome to
small
town Indiana. We go to the local church and drive our fire trucks around.
Yeah, I wonder what the prereqs are. Like, honestly, if you were, and what does the application process look like? Like, what would a Santa?
Like, what do you need? What's the job description?
Yeah.
Like in regards to like
is there tryouts?
Appearance. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got another greaseful thing. You ready? This one's gonna be good.
I'm ready.
When Santa does not have the right attitude. So this kind of goes along with demeanor. Have you ever met like an angry Santa? Like he just mad.
I've never met Santas. I've never taken my kids to Santa.
So as I
I've
thought,
not experienced this. I feel like this is like one moment where like you have been
man,
a participant and I haven't, because I always feel like
I'm involved in everything.
Tables have turned a little bit.
So I was like, I think I was in high school, and I'd have been out of high school. I think I was living on my
Santa
own.
when you were in high school?
No, I was living on my own, and it was like, oh man, this is so bad. And it was like, I was living on my own. A bunch of friends of mine and I went out, and we saw like this guy at like an Applebee's or whatever, and he must have just gotten done playing Santa, and had like a full day or whatever.
Oh no!
And he had one too many eggnogs, and and I think he might have ate a couple of candy canes that he wasn't supposed to eat. I mean, this guy, he was just angry, And what's bad is...
Did you guys talk to him?
No, you don't have to, because, like, what's bad is when he's acting like that and you're in public, like, there's children around, right?
Wait a minute, was he sitting in a Santa costume at the bar?
Yeah. So this is the problem, right? Because remember, back in the day, like, you could still go to restaurants and, like, the bar's, like, visible, right? So, like, little Timmy's like... Hey, Mom, why is Santa? I love being able to make him laugh. It's so funny. It cracks me up. Yeah. So
Keep going with your story. I guess I'm thinking of like
imagine
sad Santa at a bar.
Oh yeah.
He was still in his costume.
Yeah.
Bring a change of clothes.
Right? You would think like he went straight from the mall to Applebee's, and just like imagine like you and Josh and the boys like walk in, and they look up and they're like, Santa, and he's like, what do you want, you little jerk? And it's like, whoa, buddy.
Santa's
like,
having a bad day.
Whoa, you can't.
Oh, man, that would ruin the illusion.
It ruins everything.
That is hilarious.
Or like when they get off work and they don't take off like their suit and they're like going out to the car, or whatever.
Or the bar.
Yeah, and like a little kid's like, hi, Santa, can I tell you what I want? And he's like, you could tell me tomorrow from 9 to 5. like, whoa, buddy.
I would hope that like if you're Santa, if you're going in to be a Santa Claus, you have to know.
You would think
that like if you were out in a costume,
come on,
just you got to play that part. It's only for a month. Mm-hmm. It's not like this is a year-round situation.
And here's the thing: Santa doesn't have a like
hours of operation.
He doesn't have like a head like how people play the Easter Bunny or whatnot.
Oh yeah,
and
like
you
it's
can't
your face.
tell. Yeah, like it's actually you. So like I've like driven by and people like in Santa suits smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, buddy, like you can't
Don't
take the coat off, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like you've got to have something underneath. At least just like
we hope.
Oh my goodness. Please, Santa Clauses, have something else other than like your boxers.
Dear Grease and Grace, I used to listen every single week. This week was a little much.
This one broke me.
I'm going to have to say goodbye. I'm serious, man.
Yeah, bring a change of clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm trying to think. If I'm doing something, most of the time I have a change of clothes in my car just because, like, A, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And B, my other thing is, like, how many kids have farted on you?
Whoa.
And, like, people put their babies on your lap. Mm-hmm. Babies are pukers. Oh,
I'm sorry. He puked on you. Are you okay? Yeah.
Then you're just smelling like sour milk, especially if you're going out. Like, bring a change of clothes, homie.
Well, if it's your gig, like I guess you get comfortable in it, kind of like being a chef, like you wear like your coat or whatever. But I feel like once the job is done, like you take the coat off.
Yeah,
maybe?
like I take my chef coat off because I have a shirt on underneath because I plan to like do other things.
Yeah,
like if I don't know. Anyways,
so that's it. So it kind of goes from the outside like in, which is like the coat and the hat. Like if those haven't been done right, I'm a little upset.
Yeah.
And then man, if your personality doesn't match, like
I'm like, I want to see an application.
I did see
for this.
Who knows?
I'm not gonna.
I think Walmart greeter and Santa are like the same one, like same application.
Is it like a
It probably depends on where you're
job
Santa
fair?
at. Yeah, like hey, you want to be Santa, big guy? I did see one time though, and I thought this was cool. I'm not condoning smoking by any means, but I saw a Santa. He was perfect. Like he had like.
Did he have a pipe?
100%.
See, if you're gonna smoke, do a pipe.
Yeah.
Like
he had like a legit like.
That's smart.
Pipe, and it was. You could smell like the tobacco in it, you know, and he was a little older.
Yeah.
So I looked at him, I'm like, man, you're doing the thing. And he's like, I'm like this all year round. And I'm like,
I believe it.
Because you're Santa.
I would be cool with seeing a Santa Claus smoking a cigar or a pipe.
Yeah, you can't smoke Marlboros, so like that doesn't work.
Don't.
That's a different ball game, right? Like
It really is.
That's a different North Pole. You need some
But like
help.
a Santa Claus smoking a cigar is like Santa Claus is real chill.
Oh, this guy had like his pipe was like real like intricate too, and like
I had a friend who smoked from a pipe,
Yeah.
not anything other than tobacco.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
he was my age and we were younger.
I don't know
And-
how like you get into that. Like it's definitely like a thing where you're like, you know what? Like
how
at
do
what
you get
point
there?
do you get to like, oh, I'm 50, I'm going to the
Yeah.
pipe, you know?
How does that happen?
I don't know.
I've only ever seen his name was Cutter, and
Yeah.
I only ever seen Cutter do it.
Yeah.
But like
It's kind of like a I bet people do it like more than you think, but you probably just don't know about it. You can usually tell people who smoke like whether it's cigars or a pipe or
their
cigarettes.
smell.
Well, they smell, but at the same time, like their beards, it like the mustache part has like kind of gone to a caramel color. So you can pretty
What?
much tell. Yeah. So there's
Is
a
that
lot
real?
of there's a lot of old guys that if you look at and they're like where their mouth's at, if it's kind of like a caramel color, they probably smoke.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting. Look at me, just
Yep.
learning new things.
Yep.
Anyways, back to Santa.
Back to Santa.
Do you have any more greases?
I mean those would be like kind of my big ones. I am a big proponent of like if you want to do Santa, like don't lie to your kids.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you should lie to people.
Don't
obviously.
make it the entire identity of Christmas.
Yeah, so like that's probably the biggest reason why we celebrate Advent over Christmas, because now it's a season and it's not a day, and we're leading up to Christ's birth and then obviously celebrating Christ's birth and stuff like that. But in regards to like Santa, like it was never Santa was just like Santa gave you the presents in your like in your stocking or whatever.
Yeah.
And people be like, well, there it is, there's the lie, and it's like okay, what, like whatever. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to belabor that point or whatnot.
Yeah.
But when your kids get to the point, they're like, "Hey, he's not real, right?" You're like,
Yeah.
But
I don't know if Owen is gonna get there. I tell him every year.
he knows Spider-Man's not real, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we're very.
Do you have any graces about Santa?
I will say. Well, okay. So one last grace. If your child is scared of Santa Claus, please don't force your child to
100%.
sit on Santa Claus's lap.
Yeah.
I don't.
Come on, buddy. He's safe. You just told me not to mess with strangers. Yeah.
And like kids are like genuinely terrified of him, and like
sit on his
parents
lap,
want it
buddy.
just for the sake of the photo, and it's like. Nobody needs that.
Yeah, you don't need
Nobody
that.
needs that. Santa Claus doesn't need it. That's causing him to go to an Applebee's and chug some egg.
I should, if phones existed
You
with
should've taken a
cameras, I
picture.
would have taken a picture.
Oh,
it was
man.
unbelievable.
But yeah, I mean, like that's hard on the dude who's playing Santa Claus as well. Which I guess if you're going into the position of Santa Claus, like that's just like an occupational hazard kind of.
Well, my buddy in the booth
thing.
didn't help either because he was definitely cheering him on.
Yeah. But like if your kid is terrified, please don't
do it.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop it. I enjoy
I'm the same thing with anything furry though. Like
dogs.
from dogs and cats to like people in costumes. Like
Oh yeah.
don't force your kid to be around somebody. Like
That's weird. They're uncomfortable don't force it.
Yeah, come on. He's smart.
Yeah, because
no.
I like the chaos of Christmas, and I am a people watcher through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Best place to sit in the mall is right next to Santa Claus.
Just to watch it
and
go down.
just to listen. Last year,
Get your camera out.
2 years ago, I had like 45 minutes. I needed to be in South Bend for 2 different things. And so I was like, I'm going to go to the mall. And I sat, didn't even watch. I just listened. Pure gold. Absolutely pure gold listening to parents. So please don't force your children.
Yeah.
Anyways, the grace that I have is that it does bring like this joyous energy to Christmas.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there is.
I appreciate every movie that is out about Santa. Like,
Yeah.
And I know people probably be like, "Are you serious, Jordan?" I'm like, "Hold on a second. Like, I love a good story. Like, it's really funny to me how many people are like, "Well, I don't like Santa, but I love Lord of the Rings." Both fictional.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
the stories that come out, like the Christmas Chronicles and the Santa Claus and things like that, which are, like wholesome for the most part, like films that have like a great storyline to them. Like, hey, in a world saturated in violence and sex, like,
Yeah.
this is something
just
that is
happy.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't know what it is though. Like, it's just like the magic of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would probably be on the same page with you. Like, I like the created Santa that is like very like the twinkle in his eye and just the concept of like, hey, this is going to be a stretch, but I'm going to try it. So like, I feel the same way about Santa that like we should have in regards to approaching the police department. Like, so oftentimes, like, people look at the police department like, ooh, bad, evil, you put people in jail. And it's like, really? Like, they're first of all, they're normal people. And second of all, they're really here to help.
Yeah.
Like, they just make sure that the laws are followed and taken care of. I meet so many, like, little kids when I'm in uniform, and they're like, are you going to take me to jail? And it's like, dude, like, what? Where did you get? How'd you get there? And then you'll meet one little kid that will like walk up to you and like give you a hug and be like, "Thank you for keeping us safe at night," or whatever.
Yeah.
And you go, "That's like, I think that's Santa. Santa has that same thing." Like,
yes,
I saw so many little kids at the town lighting that were like, "I love you, Santa," and I'm like, "Oh, that's so neat."
Yeah.
Like, you have this like spirit of Christmas, and I know that's not a thing. I understand that, but it's still like. It shows you just how much a little kid still does have like that vivid imagination. And we kind of as adults just like dump that. We're like, I don't need that anymore.
I don't know. I mean, I like to have an imagination. I have an imagination, but like it does get soiled by other people who are like, can you be part of actual reality? And I'm like, it's more fun.
Like the art of like wonder and excitement and all that other stuff is kind of like gone. And I look at it and I go, man, what a cool story to stick around for so long. Like, I think that's kind of neat. This is probably a grease, but I don't like how it pulls away from Jesus. Like, I do think that's hard. Like, this season is about Jesus. So I could probably like
Jesus.
expand on that, but
you could. Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's what it is. Like, growing up, every single year we read from the Bible. We talk about the Christmas story, and like we talk about what like Emmanuel means. Like we have this whole
Mary and Joseph had reindeer, right? No.
Nope, sure didn't. But like we read from the Bible before we do anything in the morning,
right?
And then and we just take that pause to remember, and maybe that's what. Maybe that's what needs to be done. I don't know. I don't know how people do it in their households. And like, so my Josh's family has done Santa, and we haven't. So there was one year
they do Santa. Oh, okay, yeah.
And so there was one Christmas. I think it was only one where there was one Christmas where his sister was like, "Hey, we haven't told our son. Can we roll with it?" And I was like, "Absolutely, that's not a problem at all." And I don't like if your kids try to have a conversation with your kids to not ruin it for anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm terrified that Miles is going to tell somebody.
This is really funny though, because I think this is how like stories like escalate. So I love St. Patrick's Day. Love it. But,
really?
Yeah. Because St. Patrick is literally responsible for like the conversion of Ireland. Mm-hmm. So if you go back to like St. Nicholas, for example, like, and if you go way back, he was known for giving gifts to the poor.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. Like, that's fantastic. So I think you can take back like a little bit of like the folklore where you say, hey, St. Nicholas, right, was this 4th century Greek bishop that had a heart for the poor. And so he gave gifts.
Yeah.
So I had a friend say this a long time ago, but I think it's a really good point. He's like, I've thrown out a lot of bath water, no babies. And I'm like, man, that's so good, right? Like, basically, you can take something that has been blown up and put out of proportion, and you could bring it back home and say, hey, like, Santa Claus, like you know him, depicted on the screen, not real. But there were people who like gave gifts to the poor, and this is why we do that, or whatever the case is. So
that's what he did.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Anything else?
I really want to know. Tell me what you guys would think would be on the application.
You know what?
What is the I've never thought about that before. And I'm like, is there a weight requirement?
Let's see.
Is there a body fat percentage requirement?
So, there is no
over
formal Santa apps.
over 55.
I was just thinking if there was any like if you could find one out there. All these Santa applications are like garbage. Like they're all like, are you what does that even mean? Are you jolly? Yes or no? Do you like animals? Yes or no? Are you afraid of flying? Yes or no? What is your favorite color? Why do you want to be Santa? Those are the 4 questions.
Seriously?
I don't feel like that's gonna pass at a grocery store. Like I just don't think that's good.
Huh.
This one's really interesting. There's a couple of them. If you just Google it, you have like there's like a scale. Like oh my word, this is crazy.
Like a Santa scale?
Yeah, I don't even want to like get into that. That's gonna be way too much.
Oh no. Huh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So what do
I want to hear? Do you do Santa with your kids?
Yep.
And if so, why?
Did your kids listen to this?
How do you justify it? Did we ruin your life? that's what, let's just be honest. Like, how much do you loathe us right now? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm not judging against anybody who does Santa Claus. We've just never done it.
I'm not judging, but yeah. So, I do kind of feel bad if like all your kids just immediate like we're like, wait, what? Because I get that a lot. Pastor Jordan said what? And I'm like, hold up. Just because your mom didn't say something, like don't put that evil on me. That's drives me crazy.
Maybe it was time.
Wait, you said you did Santa or didn't?
We didn't we never got gifts.
You never got gifts
from Santa, and like there was not any like Santa decorations.
Well, because I think it's funny because some kids like detest Santa because he didn't get them what they wanted. When like they were growing up, like I asked for this, and my mom and dad used Santa as like you're not gonna get that.
Yeah, no,
don't do that.
Don't.
That's sketchy.
I feel like sometimes, I'm going back into the grease. We got to end this because I'm like back into the grease because I feel like it causes entitlement. Of like, if I'm going to ask Santa. And the other problem is like some people, because I grew up with not a lot of money, like some people, Santa would give them like PlayStations, and then other people, Santa would give them like the Chinese finger traps. You know what I mean? Like,
and mom and dad don't have enough gall to just be like, hey, we didn't buy that for you.
Yeah.
Like we didn't want to buy that for you. You don't look at it and be like, oh, Santa didn't do that because you were a bad kid this year.
Yeah.
Hey, Harry, back up, man. Like, don't do that to you. You're in counseling at 30 and they're like, what's wrong? Oh, my mom and dad.
Santa needs a cap. Santa needs like a $5 cap so everybody's on the same level playing field.
Sounds like y'all getting Amazon Prime gift cards this year. That's all you're getting. I'm trying to think what else like I would like to know from people like in regards to Santa. Like, I don't know.
Were you Santa Claus?
Oh.
Or your dad or your grandpa? Were they
There
Santa
was
Claus?
that they would like come into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
like,
remember that.
do you have funny Santa stories?
Yeah.
Because I've seen videos of like Santa Claus is like walking in and like kids just
like,
punching them.
No way.
Yeah. Like, do you have any funny
If you've ever been a Santa at a mall, how did you get there?
What is your experience? Was that your first and last year?
So, hey, this is Kenny from Virginia. I definitely was a Santa.
The mall,
goodness.
Is the mall considered like top tier job?
Probably was. Not anymore.
Because
Macy's Day Parade. Santa.
Yeah, but like, do people go to Santa Claus at the Macy's Day Parade?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do they?
He's a thing, man. Yeah.
They go to Santa?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. When all is said and done. Yeah. I'm
we
pretty
didn't
positive.
go to Santa.
Did you go to the Macy's Day Parade?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Last year.
Whoa.
We did. It's totally different experience.
Oh, I bet.
Totally different experience than what you see on TV.
Well, that's why they do it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people that are like, oh, it's on TV already. No. If you go, like, it's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. But
good for
there
you.
wasn't like anybody going to.
Did you see like all the things?
Well, so my experience was we were not in front of Macy's. So it was just a parade of like people walking. Yeah. Like nobody's really performing.
Yeah. You're not like, they're not stopping or whatever.
You don't, yeah. And like they carry, there's people who like carry the, I don't know, the float's name of sponsored by,
yeah.
But it's down on the ground. So if you're like 4 people back, you can't see it. And then it also would say like Kirk Franklin was on one of the floats. But I was like, who is that guy? Like I've seen him.
But you can't see
you don't know who he is.
Plate, yeah.
And so you're like, he looks familiar. I think he's a celebrity.
Which is kind of like a normal parade. You're like, who's that lady on the back of that Corvette? Are you homecoming king?
Have I seen you? So yeah, it was really cool to see all of the balloons. But
as a total side note.
Yeah, we went, but we never went to Santa. So yeah, what would be considered top tier Santa?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I made it.
All right. Well,
you're not going to the Applebee's at the bar.
Oh my goodness. So share your thoughts with us. Hey, we love hearing from you guys. If you have stories or questions about Santa, all questions about Santa we won't answer. So just throwing that out there right there. If you have a story about Santa, we'd love to hear about that. If you have a suggestion for a Santa, also we will not take that. So I just want to let you know. Usually we're like, oh, you got a story or a question or a suggestion. When it comes to Santa, we just want to hear your stories. That's all we care about. No, and don't throw shade at us either because that's not cool. Like, don't look at us and be like, oh, I can't believe you. Hold up. Take a step back, okay? But if you do have suggestions about future topics, we will absolutely take those.
Absolutely.
2025 is quickly approaching, so think about that. Drop us a line. While you're at it, rate, comment, subscribe, or share it with your friends and family. For those of you who listen all the time, man, we do just want to say thank you so much, and I believe we have one more episode in Christmas, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I was looking at the calendar. I can't figure out where we're at right now.
Yeah. So
I think we're before Christmas.
It's a Merry Christmas. We'll probably say it to you one more time, regardless. But reach out to us on social media or through our website, greaseandgracepod.com. You can email us at greaseandgracepod@gmail.com. But thanks for tuning in. Go back and binge listen to all the previous episodes, especially if you're driving this holiday season.
Yeah.
This is a good chance to just kind of put everything on repeat and check out some of those old past episodes. And if you get into an old episode and you hear something and you think to yourself, man, I want to comment on that, you totally can.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll just make sure that you let me know what episode it's from.
Yeah. Because if you're like, oh, I loved it when you did this. And we're like, wait, what are you talking about? Yeah. How's that deal with Santa? We're going to be confused. But thanks for tuning in. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Later.
These grapes are sad.
Ho.
We're so high.